Just after World War II, Joshua Hollins and his partner Vera welcomed a baby boy, Al, into the world. Now, pretty soon after that, Mr. Hollins decided he was going to leave the picture. So in turn, Al was raised by his maternal grandparents. Growing up a typical and unremarkable childhood, Al decided in his teens that he liked his grandfather's ability to play classical piano. He wanted an instrument for himself. He especially liked the horns he heard in popular music of the day. Now, brass instruments are expensive, so in the end he had to settle for a guitar. Now, after some time, he got a feel for the instrument despite it not being what he wanted to pursue. After forming various bands, he met 3 other guys and they practiced for a while. A local man with some experience in the industry offered to record them for an album. A real album. They recorded the debut record and it went nowhere. The short-lived band never really even played live gigs, and pretty soon after that went their separate ways. Al had the bug, though. He continued playing and got noticed by other musicians as being really good. Not the kind of good that gets you on the radio, but the kind that the jazz guys seemed to appreciate. Soon, he was asked to play in a few bands, and he did. But these were never the type of bands that would get anywhere close to the top 100 charts. Al even got to play with some guys who had some fame. A couple bands he was in had drummers that people in music circles had actually heard of and admired. But he never stayed long. One band, he liked the guys personally, but they kept insisting that he should play more consistently, kind of stick to a pattern. But Al really just preferred to improvise and make things up as he went. So after years of being the new guy in bands that never got played on the radio, he went solo, playing his own stuff. His own stuff that never got heard on the radio. He had other hobbies, of course. He loved beer. Not pounding cans of Coors Light by the pool, but good craft brew. He tried making his own for a while. He even invented his own variation of a beer tap, designed to give a better head of foam on a glass. He called it the Fizz Buster. As time went by, Al came to love his California home. He pictured opening his own pub there, and he always liked riding his bicycle in the hills. He married twice and eventually became a father and a grandfather. But he kept playing music, always hearing those saxophones and horns in his head. Even though he stopped making albums after a long time, he would still play the occasional clubs. People would always tell him how good he was, but it just never really materialized in recognition from the world at large. His entire life, he could walk into any store or his local bank, and there would be no danger of being recognized. Oh, and by the way, being raised by his maternal grandparents, Al had adopted their last name. And that is the alternate tuning version of the life of Alan Holdsworth.